And we are live! Hello and welcome everybody to round 12 of the ALR Tier 1 season. So it's currently 7:57 for me, so we should be getting underway in around about 3 minutes. So while we're waiting for the lobby to start, I'm going to quickly find the interview room and the standings and stuff, so just give me a second with that one. So if I what are they saying? Why they're saying like what? Don't know why he won't make it since he's already in the lobby. Who's saying I won't make it? Huh? I'm so confused. People are apparently saying that I won't make it, but I'm here. I've made it. So yeah. Well, guess it doesn't matter. Welcome to everyone just joining now. 4 of you here already. I will read your comments very soon. I'm just looking for the interview lounge and the standings. So we're going to start off with the interview lounge because I don't want to interfere in with qualifying this week as it has done in previous weeks. To start off with, we've got the questions, which are number 1. Are you looking forward to next season, and do you have any ideas who you'd like to be your teammate? Very interesting question because I actually don't know how people will answer this one. Number 2, who will be on the podium this week at Spa? Question 3, what do you think the pole time will be this week? Question 4, who will be the top 3 at Imola, including not including Lewis, Max, and Valtteri? So I'm assuming they mean 4th, 5th, and 6th. Number 5, how many DNFs and safety cars this week? And number 6, who is the most underrated driver in Tier 1? The first response we have here is from AI Polhui. He says that he's asking if Hyped Skulls wants to be his teammate for next season. And then when it comes to the podium, he says Ladamala, Stan, and Bonobo, who is a name I'm not familiar with, so you never know. Pole time this weekend, he says no idea. He says 4th, 5th, and 6th will be Ricardo, Gasly, and Charles. He says DNF and safety car. He says two DNFs and 2 safety cars. He says a first lap Radion is where he expects them to happen. And for number 6, most underrated driver, he says got to back his teammate. Oh, I can't remember who that is right now. Ishtar says number 1, RDO, hashtag backmarkers for life, or AI Polhui. Solid choices. Number 2, he says podium, Tambi, Ladamala, Stan. He reckons the pole time will be a 141.5. I've got some bad news for you. I think Ladamala might put a 141 dead off of this one, potentially. He says 4th, 5th, 6th, Ricardo, Gasly, Latifi. Interesting. He reckons 5 DNFs with 3 safety cars. And he thinks that most underrated driver is either Polhui or RDO. Moving on, we've got Kenny. He says he would like to attend more. Blah 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 blah. He doesn't know about teammate next season. Okay. 2. He says the fastest 3. Well, yeah, that's usually how it works. The top 3 will probably be the fastest 3, unless there's some absolute carnage. He says the pole time's going to be 9/10 faster than he is. He thinks 4th, 5th, 6th will be Ricardo, Leclerc, Gasly. He thinks it's going to be a 4 DNFs with 3 safety cars, and he says RDO is underrated. I see he's trying to get in there with the league owner there. Interesting. RDO says he wants Ishtar as his teammate. He thinks top 3 are going to be Ladamala, Tambi and Twanach. He says pole time 141.892. I have got some bad news for you, boy. That is not going to be that. Definitely not. If it is that, then I might join tier 1 because that's slower than my lap time in whatever league race I did before, which was cloudy and started raining at the end. So he says 4th, 5th, 6th, Gasly, Leclerc, Perez. He thinks 6 DNFs with 2 safety cars, and he says most underrated driver is Wilt, Polwy or Sculzy. And Stan says he wants his teammate to be Ladamala. He thinks top 3 will be Ladamala, Ishtar and Hyped. Interesting. He says he doesn't know what the pole time will be. Neither do I. It's not happened yet. He says so it's 4th, 5th, 6th. He says Ricciardo, Gasly, Norris. He thinks there's going to be 2 DNFs with 2 safety cars, and he thinks that the most underrated driver is Ross, or Vilho, who has now changed his name to, if I can find it in this list, Rosen 95. So he's there in the McLaren P2. This is Vilho, for anyone that didn't know. So let me sort out my. I think it's Stan will be the first one to start a lap. So we're going to have a quick look on board with him, as we always do with the first man out. No Hyped Skulls this weekend, which is why Hyped isn't the first man out on track, because he usually is. So Stan has taken up that for this race. So just watching his lap for now. I've been pinged again. Why do I keep getting pinged? Who's pinged me? Oh, Streamlink. Oh, tier 2's having some troubles with the stream. Okay. Fair enough. And we have a Ferrari who's off at the chicane there. Hopefully everything's okay over there. So Stan coming into Puon now, very fast here. He probably could have used a bit more curb, but this is his first lap. Very late on the upshift too. He's definitely dropped some time through there. Don't usually want to touch the curb on entry there. So it's definitely not looking like he's got the best lap going yet, and he should try and maybe avoid that curb on the inside. It's not the fastest to touch. Coming through the final sector now, mostly flat. This all the way flat up until we get to the bus stop chicane. However, he didn't seem like he did much to minimise the distance there, so he's losing maybe a 10th or 2, even though this section is flat. Into the bus stop chicane now, braking late. He hits the first apex. Onto the second apex, he's going to short shift his way out, and he crosses the line. It's going to be a 141.8. And sorry, I was wrong. The first driver to cross the line was either Kenny or Town, but I missed that one. Apologies for that. That's better. Let's see, Tambi. Bus stop chicane now. And he dives into the pits. He's not happy. It's not invalid as far as I can tell, so very strange. And here we have Rossin, who is coming to the end of his lap. He does have Twanach in the way though. Going to be very tight for him there. Decides not to short shift, but it's good enough for P8 with 143.2. So anyone who was agreeing with RDO with the 141.8 as the pole time, that's the first lap that's been pulled. So it'd have to be very interesting session for that to be the pole time that we're seeing there. But anyway, what are you saying about my master rank Logie Bear? Yo, Baboon J. Yeah, thanks Logie for streaming last week. It was I appreciate it because I was meant to be doing it, but my dad's car broke down. I had to help him out with that, and it was very last minute. So thanks for stepping in like that. You did a very good job. Hi Liam. Hi Kieran Skulls. Hello Logan. You hope you'll be in tier 0, says Logie. I doubt it for some reason because you know, I don't think I've met someone who's claimed to be in tier 0 before, so yeah. Can't believe he's not there. Well, I guess that's up to you, but whatever. It's round 13, not 12. Okay, cool, thanks. And hello to Libanal, whose name is Puppetar, in the chat. Oh, he's run out of PSN. That is a shame. And RDO's lap is invalidated, so we won't be seeing anything from him. I also missed that Morgan's gone faster than Stan. Morgan, who I believe is in PSGL F6, as someone told me earlier. So you would expect good things out of him. Probably doing quite decent as a hyped replacement, hyped being in PSGL F5. So, you know, he has run out of fuel though, and this is wasting time, making it probably tougher for him to get out of the pits when he wants to. Bolhui on a flyer, 8 seconds down. Let's not look at him. Hugh, no. Okay, so there's no one on doing anything meaningful right now. I'm good, thanks, Skulls. How are you, mate? And I will amend the title to say round 12. Sorry, round 13. If I can. Ah, but I'm not logged into the ALR account. Can I do it from here? No, okay. Well, someone else will have to do it after the stream because I'm not logged into ALR. Wait a second, can I log in on my Google? Hold on. I can! Hold on, we might be saved, lads. Tambi on a flyer. ALR. Then go your channel. And we'll adjust that one. Can I edit it? Please? Videos. Manage. Edit, there we go. Very clean lap from Tambi so far. Coming into Puon. Very nice, just touches that curb on the exit. Again, I have expected drivers to take a bit more than that. And I usually what I see with drivers through there is that they apply the brake but still keep the throttle on a little bit, just so that they're travelling that little bit faster through there. But obviously not completely, not everyone will have tried that, because I know a lot of people who don't run ABS are kind of scared to do that because it does cause locking up quite a bit. But you know, to each their own, I guess. Alright, let's go back to my own account because I don't want to forget. That would be quite bad. Crossing the line now, and it's good enough for P4, a 1:42.0 there from Tambi. Only just puts him behind Ishtar, which is surprising, without offending Ishtar. Do we get to hear from Skolzy? No, because he's not in this race. Mr. Kiwi Puncher, unfortunately, so sorry about that. There's an F1 board game called Formula D, 30 quid on Amazon. Ladamala blew it last week. Okay. Oh my god, a 41.4. Is that... I don't think that's that fast, is it? It's probably faster than what I would do, but it's not ridiculous. And Joe has managed to make it to this session. He's currently 5th. Yeah, I'm stupid, Kiwi Puncher. He is 5th. What do you mean hear from him? You mean hear his voice? You could have had pole. Maybe. But then again, you always tell me about your starts, and then it never quite goes to plan, does it? Okay, coming to the end of the lap. Everyone currently on a flyer now, so... Right, except from Rosin, Ishtar, Town, Ardio, and Baboon J. Every time I see that name, it confuses me. I need to get a good lap in. You do, Baboon J, because currently you are 19th and last. Kenny retires. Did he crash? Hold on. Oh. Right, he's hit the wall on the outside. Yeah, so basically you can't really hear from any of the drivers unless they respond in the interview lounge. So obviously you heard me, if you were here at the beginning of the stream, there were questions that were asked before the race and people replied and stuff, and I was reading out what they'd said. Very nice lap there from Stan Remazer, a 141.2. Puts him very comfortably in the lead with 2/10 back to Morgan at the moment. So basically, but during this race I won't be talking to any of the drivers or anything, for obvious reasons that they'll probably be more interested in concentrating on the drive and stuff, so sorry about that one, but yeah, you won't be hearing from Skulzy. Maybe in the future if we do stuff like podium interviews. I'm not sure what this league does about that. I haven't been doing them with the races so far, but if that's something that the league owners decide they want to have done, you know, I could do some podium interviews, and if Skulzy gets on the podium, then you'll hear from him. But I'd have to ask RDO. It's not really something I know much about when it comes to this league. I definitely shouldn't, Skulls, because I'm not that great. I'm not good enough for that. Coming to... What am I missing everything for? Morgan with the 141.0. What did I say about a 141.0? That's cool, Kiwi Puncher. I should probably be paying more attention to this qualifying session though than answering questions, because Morgan with 141.0, very nice lap. And if you remember before this, I said that I reckon that would be the pole time would be a 41.0. So definitely interesting, because I thought that 41.0 would be right at the end of the session. But of course, this man is PHGL F6, so you would expect something good out of him, and I think RDO's on the flyer. But he's got a slow car ahead. No, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong Williams. He's actually got a clear track ahead. Very aggressive on that curb there. That will lose him some time. We're coming through the fast right-hander now. At the big, yeah, a very good lap, wasn't it, Leo Benal? Coming towards the end of the lap, flat through Blanchimont now for RDO. He's going to come up to the bus stop chicane. Let's see where he brakes. 100-metre marker board. Pretty much standard, I think, for most drivers. He goes into first. Short shifts up into second. Is he going to go third? Only on exit. Maybe he would have got better traction out of there if he had gone third before. And it's good enough for 18th place with a 43.8, the slowest time we've seen today. Interesting. Let's see who else is coming towards the end of the lap. It's one of the Alpha Tauris. Boomer. It's Boomer. Coming into the chicane now. Second gear for Boomer. He's had a half spin. He's gone into the pits. Abandoning his lap. Baboon J. Invalid lap. He's got not very long to sort that one out actually. 2 minutes. Yeah, I think he's going to complete the lap. He's in not 100% ERS, so he has saved enough. Hopefully he's got enough fuel to complete this lap, because he will want to get a lap on the board before the end of this session. Now let's see who's going to be next across the line. I think it might be Ishtar. It is Ishtar. Let's see what Ishtar's doing. To be honest, Kieran, I'm a pad player, so I don't know. But I think Pupitar down there in the comment section's got a good recommendation for you there. Personally, I've heard good things from drivers who use both Logitech and Thrustmaster, but I personally have never used a wheel, so I don't know. Ishtar with a nice lap, 41.9, moves himself up into P4, just behind Ladamala, so he's doing surprisingly well compared to what we normally see from him. We've had... Oh, Baboon J is retired from the session. Hopefully he doesn't get in anyway. Oh! Let's see what... who's coming to the end of their lap. Morgan. Ah, he's on an out lap. Which one are Madam... they're both on out laps. Who's not on an out lap? Ah! Yeah, Baboon J, it's not like a bit crazy races have happened here in the past, so you never know. Husam starting his lap, I believe. To be honest, Logie Bear, if you want to get rid of assists, just practice. At the moment I play pad, but I use line only, as we have a spun Polhui in the middle sector. Hopefully he didn't get anyone's way. You have scuff control at the moment. That's mad. I'd love to have a scuff controller. Oh, Ishtar retires. And Renko retires. Polhui lets RDO through, so let's see what RDO is going to do. Final corner. He's 7/10 up. Oh, he's run out of fuel. He's P18. Very unlucky from there. Let's see what Rudy's able to do with his last couple of corners. Crosses the line, it's P7 with a 42.0. Very nice. And yeah, hopefully you have a better race, Baboon J. Okay, who's up next? It's the AlphaTauri Swen, I believe. It is. He's invalidated his lap, so nothing will come from that. Next up will be Morgan. Morgan has invalidated his lap. Husam. Yeah, Husam. Come into the final chicane. And after that it will be Town and Ladamala to finish their laps. Let's see what Husam's able to do. P8 to a 42.1. Okay, where's Town gone? Town P13. And Ladamala abandons his lap. So that is the final order for this session. Yeah, so there you go, Kieran. If you look in the comments, Pupitar's had a recommendation for you there. So hopefully you find that helpful. So that's it for qualifying. Hopefully Ladamala, once he's in the pits, can get rid of this, because Codemasters have fixed the whole pit lane at the end of qualifying issue, where you'll just basically run down the time instead of end of the session. As we see, it's ended the session, so confirmation the glitch is fixed. How much fuel should you use? I usually go with 3 laps extra. and burn it over the course of the race. But quickly, rundown of the session. So on pole here with a 41.0 is Morgan. 2 tenths down on him, Stan will start on second place. Renko, P3, new face up in the top 3 there. 6 tenths off the pole time. Tambi, 8 tenths off the pole time, nearly 9 tenths, P4. Ladamala just behind Tambi, P5. Ishtar, same there. P6, P7 Rudy, 8 Husam, 9 Skulzy, 10 Wilt, and with a free choice of tyres we have Polhui, Kenny, Town, Twanach, Boomer, Swen, Rodson, RDO, and with no time, Baboon J. Yeah, Logie, I usually use, depending on the track, so like a track like this I might look towards 3.5, 4 laps of extra fuel, but on most tracks I go with a standard 3 laps extra fuel. And just whenever I'm on a straight, kind of turn it up into rich mix, and then towards when I get to the end of the straight, turn it back down to standard. Just call you Jay. Okay. Well, I'll probably end up calling you Baboon because I'll probably forget that you've asked me to call you Jay. But it'll just be the first thing that I see. I might sometimes call you Baboon. I might sometimes call you Jay. I might sometimes try to say you what. Yeah, you what here is yeah, but I'll probably get the hang of it eventually. We wait as drivers now just choosing their setups, fuel load strategies, so getting themselves prepared for the formation lap, because we all love a good formation lap, don't we? Very exciting. Personally, formation lap, favourite part of the race. Do love myself a good formation lap. Very exciting as always. Definitely not being sarcastic, you know, definitely not. As we pull away for the most exhilarating part of the race, the slow roll towards turn 1 on the formation lap. There you go, predicted tyre stop strategy. 1 stop from soft to hards on laps 7 to 8. However, if we're being honest, we don't trust the tyre stop strategy. What you could actually do is, starting on the softs, is switch to the mediums on lap 12. Well, actually no, to be honest, you can switch to the mediums from like lap 5 onwards, and you'll probably be fine to the end. So, it's actually very wrong, that tyre strategy. But what do we expect? It's always a bit like this, isn't it? Okay, let's just see what tyres everyone's starting on, because why not? Wow, that's quite interesting actually. So we've got a bit of a mix. Obviously everyone in the top 10 on the softs, but we've had Polhui, Kenny, Town and Boomer all opt for the medium tyre to start on, whereas Twanach, Swen, Rodson, RDO, Baboon and Joe all opt in for the softs at the start of this race. Gonna have to keep an eye out on how that one works out for those guys, because an early safety car could really ruin a couple of races here. Unfortunately for them, that's not the sound that that car should be making. Okay, let's start there for now. We can always adjust that later on. So I think my fastest quality time at this track is like a 41.6 or something. So I'll probably find myself P3, P4 on this grid, which I'm quite happy about. But as the grid forms up now, we should be getting ready for the start. Yeah, like literally, I think the optimal strategy here, you want to pit about lap 7, lap 8, or for the mediums. But obviously, if you go for an undercut, there's obviously other options. Okay, lights turning on now. We have 5 red lights. And they're out. Away we go. Let's see who gets a good start here. It's looking like a good start for Morgan, but Stan just gets round his outside into the lead. Big crash in the background. It's 2012 all over again. And Renko is round. Let's see who was involved in that first lap crash. Looks like Polhui was involved. Kenny looks like he was involved too. And a virtual safety car to start off this race. Never really got underway, did it? Oh well. I'm surprised it's only a normal virtual safety. I guess no one retired, but Renko will be fuming after that one. Let's see if he has any damage. What is going on here? Oh my god. What is Polhui doing? Polhui has no front wheel. Renko doesn't look like he has damage, so the leaderboard is always glitched in this game, to be honest. It's we just expect it at this point, as Swen and Twanach switch places, and Renko gets past both Polhui and Kenny. Oh! Absolute scent from Jay there. And he's got through on town. Very nice stuff from him. Let's see if there's any reply. No, he's got quite far ahead now, so looking like replies off the cards. But let's see what's going on. Big cluster of cars here. All fighting for position. Twanach under pressure from Joe. Joe having already made up 5 positions off the start. He's now under pressure from Baboon Jay, who's gained a lot of time with these two. I think, yeah, damage for Twanach is what's slowing this down a lot. So we might be looking at a 3 wide moment here. We are looking at a 3 wide moment here. Joe got the inside. Jay trying to follow him through. Now is Jay going to have a look down the inside? He's gone very wide at Blanchimont. Is he? Ooh, very defensive there from Joe. He's got to go round the outside as Jay. He's trying round the outside. He's got the inside for the next corner. Is he going to be able to get the traction though? He's squeezed Joe off the track. Completely barged him out of the way really, but he has now got the position and moves himself up into P16. Twanach in the pits. He's definitely not P11. Neither is Kenny. So when that sorts itself out, healthy lead there for Morgan, as he's got a bit away from Stan, but Ladamala is under pressure from Scholesy. Scholesy and Ladamala both look like they've made some decent positions up off the start, because they were behind the likes of Tambi and Ishtar, I think. So, well, no, Ladamala wasn't, but Tambi and Ishtar were sat behind him. But Scholesy made a couple of positions up into P6. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm retarded. Leave me alone. It's kind of sorted itself out. Polhui's definitely not leading, but we have Sector 3 yellows. It's Husam. He's ill. What's happened to him there? Has he been turned in on? That looks like a strange place to have an accident, but he does have damage, so he's hit the wall obviously. And this is just bad for him because he's losing positions all the way down. He's probably going to have to pit for the hard tyre. Maybe the mediums if he wants to risk it. Yeah, he's just falling down the order now. So Morgan, fastest lap of the race. 1.3 is the gap back to Stan. He's already pulled out of that DRS range. So has Stan on Ladamala. 1.8 is the gap, but who is in DRS is Scholesy as Kenny. It's a 3-second time penalty, and there's a crash down at the back. It's Husam and it's Renko. Ooh. Okay, I don't know what's going on there. Maybe Renko's trying to move. Renko has left the session, and that is a rage quit. So that's I know it's not been his day, but you don't really want to see rage quits like that when it comes to league racing. As Rudy gets through on Tambi now. Is Tambi able to reply? Doesn't look like he is. So he's going to have to sit behind that. Oh, he's got damage. He's got damage to the front right end plate. That is why he's so slow and losing positions. So it's absolute disaster here for Ferrari. Both drivers receiving damage early on. One has already left the game, and the other one is fighting for P7 at the moment. So not a good day for Ferrari. Wow. Crazy scenes here at the beginning. Ladder Mala right behind Skolzy still. Is he going to be able to get a good toe down this back straight? It's not really the back straight, is it? But on the run down to Blanchimont and the bus stop chicane, at least. No, he's actually lost a bit of time as Skolzy has now breached that 1 second to Stan. So he does have the pace in this early stage of the Belgian Grand Prix. 2.5 is now the gap out the front as Jay gets past Boomer. Oh, but it's still side by side as the run down to the bus stop chicane on the grass is Boomer. But he does manage to slow it down in time, so no further incident has occurred there, because that could have been very bad if he'd outbraked himself. Tamby still continuing on even with the damage, so he thinks his pace is good enough to just stretch it out until the next time he needs to pit. DRS for Skolzy now. Look how much that gap goes down. He's gained so much time on this straight alone just because of that DRS and slipstream. Not enough this time round though. Oh, yellows, and we have RDO. RDO is out of the race and it's at Radium, at the top of Radium. And it's a virtual safety car once again. Now let's just see if we can see on Rainco's POV where that Williams car is. Oh, right at the top of the hill. So I don't know if he's had contact or if he's just lost it on his own, but that is the league owner RDO out of this race on lap 4. Now, no, it's not going to stay around long enough. 3 seconds is the gap at the front. Virtual safety car is finished. I don't think anyone really took advantage by pitting. But what is happening now is Husam is looking for a move on Kenny for P17 here. Let's see, is he going to be able to get down the inside? He has, and Kenny just has to concede the position there because there is no way he's hanging it around the outside when the car, the Alfa Romeo, had such good momentum. Skolzy has just dropped outside of that 1 second. Someone who's well within the 1 second though is Wilt, 8/10 behind Tamby, who is still clinging onto the back of that racing point of Rudy quite well. So well done to him for being able to keep it there. It's very strange. Ladder Mala P4, not the form we've been expecting from him when he joined this league. He was winning everything. You think he won 4 or 5 in a row, and all of a sudden he's had a few bad results ever since Vietnam, really. He had a bad race in Vietnam. Baku wasn't great for him. I don't think he had a great time at Zandvoort either, from memory. So he really is looking for a bit of form at the moment, just isn't able to find it as it stands. Now let's see, Wilt should be able to gain so much time on the Ferrari here. He's got DRS, he's got slipstream, and he has more front wing, so better exit off of Eau Rouge and Radion. Not enough though. Tamby actually gains more on Rudy, I'd say, than Wilt gained on Tamby. Gaps are around about half a second for both drivers now. Just coming into lap 5 now, so we might see some people trying to undercut from this point onwards. So watch out for people entering the pits, because they probably will be able to get onto the mediums to the end of the race at this point. So be very interested to see who decides to go for that undercut, see if it's worth it. Will able just to keep that bit closer to Tamby in this middle sector, as Tamby is just not able to keep to the back of that racing point quite the same with that damage, with the dirty air of course as well. So it's going to be a struggle for Tamby really, and I feel like it won't be long before he's losing that P7 to Wilt here, but he's got a gap back to Rosin. Not much of 1.6 seconds, but it's enough of a gap for him to relax maybe a bit, use the DRS and slipstream of Wilt ahead to just keep himself in the game a bit until that first pit stop where he can change his front wing and show his true pace. Pit window open, told you, lap 6 to 8, medium tyres, one stop strategy. What did I tell you? It's almost like I know what I'm doing. Kenny with a 3 second time penalty. I also did see that Baboon J had a 3 second time penalty as well. But a bit of a mistake off of La Source there from Wilt. Is it going to cost him on the run up the hill? I think it might, because Tamby is very close to the back of Rudy here. Let's see, DRS assisted. Obviously, Rudy does not have DRS. Is he able to go for anything? No, just a bit too far back this time round. And what that has done is kept him ahead of Wilt for yet another lap. So he'll be very happy with that one. Big crash in Tier 2. That's very unfortunate for those involved. But this is Tier 1. This is what we care about sat here. Tier 1. And maybe if this finishes before the Tier 2 stream does, I'll send you all over there for the last lap or so. Look at that gap. Oh, it's Wilt. Wilt is round. I think he's touched the curb on the inside of Radion, and that's sent his car immediately round. Very unfortunate. I know how that one feels, to be honest. And he's going to rejoin back in P14. So many positions lost for him there. He will not be happy whatsoever with that one. But he's got to get his head down and get the job done. He can't spend too long worrying about it. But what that does do is move Jay up into the points after starting P19. I told him it would be fine. Oh, it's Stan. Stan pits. This allows Skolzy to get up into second place. So Stan is the first one to pull the trigger on that pit stop. Let's see, is he going for the medium tyres? He is going for the hard tyre. Why is he gone for the hard tyre? Mediums make it to the end easily from here. Why is he on hards? Let's see what Rudy goes on to. What's Rudy pitting for? Mediums. See, Rudy's gone on to the mediums, but Stan decided to go for hards. That's going to cost him big time, I feel, in this race, because those hard tyres are not good at all. And the mediums can make it to the end easily. It's so confusing why he's gone for the hards, but never know, maybe it was a mistake. He didn't change something on his strategy. He's going to lose the position now to Boomer. He tries to hang around the outside. He does actually hang around the outside. So Boomer not quite with the momentum to keep ahead of the Red Bull there on the fresh hard tyres. Yeah. Going back towards the front end of the grid now, we have Ladamella, who's been reeling in Skolzy over the last couple of laps. He's now within that 1 second gap, so the next DRS zone he will be able to use his DRS. Tambi has... Hold on. He's actually... Oh! Big moment there for Rosen. I think he's just about kept it damage free. Wow, that was a save. Incredible car control there from Rosen to keep that one out of the wall. And that's Morgan into the pit. Morgan pits from the lead onto the medium tyre now. So that will promote Skolzy up into the lead of this race as Stan gets past his teammate Jay. Maybe team orders? Jay pits anyway, so nothing much there. Ishtar into the pits as well. Ladamella, he's dropped a lot of time to Skolzy on this last lap. 8/10, so maybe a mistake there for Ladamella. Very strange. Don't normally see stuff like that from him, but Rosen's right on the back of Morgan. As we're coming down the straight now. Morgan not too far behind. Oh, Swen either. Let's see, what's he able to do? Is there going to be a move here? No, they keep in the same order this time round. Wow, I thought someone was going to go for a move there as Ishtar moves his way up into P10 ahead of Joe. Obviously the fresh tyres helping him out a lot there. Town, 3 second time penalty for him. He's currently running in P9 as Renko is obviously ghosting and is passed by Kenny. Rose just losing a little bit of time here through this middle sector, so I don't know what's up with him. Maybe it's the tyres, he just got a bit past their lifespan and is struggling a bit now. Let's see, Morgan right on the back of Swen. Swen catching up to Tambi now. Tambi obviously with the damage. He's been able to relax for about a lap or so, but he's out back under pressure now from Swen this time, not Rosen. Joe, 3 second time penalty. Lots of time penalties here so far in this race. Very interested to see come the end of the race where that puts everyone. Ladamella pits, Skolzy stays out, Tambi pits, Swen pits, Morgan stays out on those medium tyres, and Rosen stays out on his softs. Interesting stuff. What this has done is robbed us of any action. I guess Kenny's right behind Husam, but that's as close as we're going to get to some action as it stands. Husam right on the back of Twanach too, so it would be very interesting to see where that goes. What's happened? Not much, to be honest. RDO retired at the top of Radion, and people have pitted. But it's interesting, Stan has pitted onto the hards, whereas everyone else has pitted onto the mediums. So Stan's probably going to be a bit slow for the rest of this race. Okay, Kenny now right on the back of Husam. Husam right on the back of Twanach. Let's see what's going to happen down to turn 1 here. They're not too far behind Wilt either. Only less than 2 seconds the gap to Wilt as Twanach. Twanach has a moment. He's way off the track, but he rejoins safe-ishly. But that's allowed Husam to get right onto the back. 1/10 on the softer compound tyre. Rosen with a 3-second time penalty. Easy move into... don't forget the name of that corner now. I forgot the name of that corner. I was about to say it and I forgot the name. What am I like? That's a pretty easy move there for Husam. He didn't even need to make it into the braking zone because he was easily passed on the straight. Ladamala now. Ladamala right behind Town on the run down to Blanchimont, and Rosen is passed by Stan. Wow, must have been a decent move to pass through there, to be honest. Okay, Ladamala now is going to look into the bus stop chicane, or is he going to be patient? He's going to be patient. He's going to wait for that DRS detection point so he can have DRS at the top of the hill. Obviously he gets DRS here as well as Husam with a 3-second time penalty. Rosen and Sculzy pit. Look at these three, nose to tail through the source. A bit of a wiggle there from Ladamala, that's allowing Ishtar to gain on him. He's going to be under pressure a bit into Aruj and Radion, and of course at the top of this hill is the DRS zone. It looks like Ladamala had a much better run through Radion than Town did. Ishtar too. Is Ishtar going to be able to look on Ladamala? No, he stays behind. So both cars cleared Town on that straight, but no action between them. Rosen on the back of Tamby, side by side. Is Tamby going to fight back? No. Rosen, easy move there, and Kenny pits. Tamby with his new front wing, obviously, is probably not expecting to be this far down the order and not expecting to get him passed by Rosen, to be honest. So it'll be interesting to see what's happened to him over the last couple of laps to find himself in this position. Interesting to note, Boomer is also being caught by Ladamala and Ishtar too, so we'll be watching that one very soon. As we've had yellows in sector 2, it's for a slow-moving Williams. Slow-moving Williams is Ishtar. A mistake from Ishtar. Now, does he have damage? No, not by the looks of it. So just a mistake. As Boomer is passed by Ladamala through Blanchimont. Is he going to fight back? No, he stays behind. Lock up there from Ladamala, though that could compromise his run onto the main straight. Let's see what Boomer's able to do now. I don't know, I feel like it might have been a mistake from Ladamala to pass Boomer there, because it's going to give Boomer the DRS down this straight, and also once we get to the top of the hill. Lock up there from Ladamala. I don't know if he's struggling, if his tyres are cold, or if it's just I know the game sometimes shows lock-ups where they don't happen, so that might also be an option. Jay passes Rudy on the main straight. Let's see, is Boomer able to get back at Ladamala? He's had a worse run through a Rouge by the looks of it. So he's dropped quite far behind. I don't think he is. Ladamala also now in the DRS of Sculzy, back where he was not that long ago. Looks like the overcut has been quite powerful here so far. Stan! Stan! No! Big mistake there from Stan, and he's spun. That's dropped him all the way down to P7 behind Ishtar. And that's not what you want to see, especially since he's on that hard tyre, which is slower. He's going to struggle for the rest of this race. As Twanach and Husam swap positions. Pretty easy move there from Husam. Now it's back. Watch back to Ladamala. He is the man with the pace at the moment in this race. Ooh. Yeah, not again, Stan. But here we have Ladamala looking for a move now on Sculzy. 10 seconds is the lead that Morgan holds in this race. So not bad for your replacement, eh, Skulls? I know he's a tier below you in PSGL, but you must be happy with his result here for the team at least. good constructors' points come in here today. But let's not touch wood. Let's not speak too early. 10 laps left in this race. Anything can happen. Well, I guess technically 11 because he would have crossed the line. Sven gets past Stan as well. So Stan really struggling at this stage of the race as Jay gets past Rudy for P9 as well. Okay, let's head back for P3. The battle for P2 now. Very close up Eau Rouge. You can see he's just a lot tidier there from Ladamala, and he's passed before they even get to the DRS zone because there's a mistake there from Scalzi. So he's lost out big time there with that mistake. And it's not even challenged Ladamala slightly now, so he can get on with the charge up against Morgan. Let's see if he can close that gap with the remaining time of this race. Going to be difficult. He might be hoping for a mistake here from Morgan to help him out there. Rosen loses position to Tambi, and Baboon loses a position to Rudy. So they've swapped back after the little fight they had earlier. Hello, Andrea, cheering on Ladamala. Always his best fan, aren't you, Andrea? It's Baboon J with another 3 seconds. Polhi is a lot further down in this race than you'd expect from him. He's also on the hard tyres, but yeah, he's struggling a lot at the moment. P18 is the best he's able to do as of right now. Let's see if Scalzi's able to keep in this DRS as Baboon J. Actually, very close to the back of Rudy here. Also Wilt with Joe, so we'll watch out for Wilt and Joe in a minute. Oh, yellow flags, and it's Stan. He's made another mistake, and this time it's cost him points. Down to P12 for Stan, as Rudy is passed by Baboon J into turn 1. Is Joe able... Joe is past Wilt. When did this happen? Obviously a move into the bus stop chicane there from Joe, but he's now going to find himself under pressure from Wilt with the DRS zone coming up. So time will tell if that's a smart move from Joe to make the pass there. And I've just seen this. 3 wide. Tambi, Baboon J, and Rudy. Rudy's gone off. And Tambi's round. He's been put in the wall. Does he have damage yet again in this race? Absolute disaster for Ferrari, really. He doesn't have damage. He's managed to keep his front wing clean this time round. But he's now also down in P12. Him and Stan with absolutely horrible races at the moment. Yeah, I didn't really see. The camera angles were quite bad there, so I couldn't tell quite what happened. But absolute shame for Tambi, really. Swen, 3-second time penalty. And we have yellows, and it's for a slow-moving Polhi, I think. Not quite sure what that one was about, but this issue has sorted itself now. And as you can see, Scalzi now is not in the DRS zone of Ladamala anymore. Ladamala just unable to catch Morgan, really, though. He's catching bit by bit, but it's not going to be enough to catch by the end of this race. So as long as Morgan keeps it clean, it should be okay for him, unless we have anything like a safety car come up in the later stage of this race. Stan now, he's just on the edge of that 1 second behind Rosen. Rosen 6/10 behind Jay. Jay 4/10 behind Rudy. Very close between these 4 drivers here at the moment. Let's see what they're able to do. Just see how close they get to the wall on the entry to Eau Rouge there. Okay, DRS lap will open now, and it's going to be very close. I don't think Stan's managed to get DRS. He's very far behind this time round. Okay, are we looking for a move here at the top of the hill? No, Rudy's just about got it covered. Jay unable to do anything that time round. Let's see what the gap is through the middle sector, because this is really where the dirty air affects you most, is this middle sector. If you can keep close in this middle sector, it will help you a lot come the end of the lap and the DRS zones, which are at the beginning of the lap, of course. And we just much tighter line there from Jay compared to Rudy. So you can see that he's probably got a bit more grip, a bit more confidence in that Red Bull compared to the racing point of Rudy. And it's got to be a matter of time before a pass happens. I mean, look how close he is, even onto this back straight here, 3.5 tenths. Slipstreaming all the way down to the bus stop chicane, and he could be very close by the time we get there. And obviously we don't know what they're doing with their overtake modes and fuel settings either. I can actually tell you what they're doing with their overtakes modes and fuel settings as well. Baboon J is very low, whereas Rudy has quite a bit more ERS saved up. So we have Boomer and Town both in the pits finally for their stops in this race. Of course they started on the medium tyre, switching to the soft side, assume at this stop, with 7-8 laps left in this race. We have a very slow moving Kenny ghosting, and Hugh Sam gets past him there. Okay, but that's not what we're interested in. This is what we're interested in. Overtake, he's already derating at the beginning of the straight. That could cost him here, as Rosen with a very nice run out of the Radion as well. Rosen's just going to have to back off a back here, I think, because there's not enough space for 3 cars here. And Jay gets the move done on Rudy. Very nice. Trinach with a 3-second time penalty. Okay, so now he should try and pull that gap through this middle sector, of course, where Rudy will be suffering a bit from dirty air. This is really the best opportunity in the lap to get this gap created. Rosen 3 seconds. That's going to cost him in this little battle, as the cars around him I don't think have penalties as of yet in this race. Kenny pits. Okay, very close there actually in the background from Rosen, Rudy and Stan. 3 tenths between Stan and Rosen especially. You would have expected those hard tyres to be a bit worse for him, but he has managed them quite well. He's getting some good pace out of them too, so let's see what he can do with this race if he get those hard tyres to continue working for him. He's past Rosen. He's past Rosen on the run up to Blanchimont, and that's him up into P8. He's going to now have DRS on Rudy as they come down the main straight to start lap 16. Of course, Morgan's already on lap 16, and Morgan, look at his pace. He's pulled a second on Ladamala since we last checked the gap between those two, and I don't have high hopes for Ladamala in this race. But a podium is, of course, a good result after his recent performances. Stan just dropping outside of that 1 second to Rudy. That could be very costly. It's going to allow Rosen to get the DRS back on him. Swen passes Ishtar for P4 here. Swen on a bit of a charge on those medium tyres. Ishtar just dropping back a bit after that great qualifying performance. 10 seconds between Swen and Sculsey though, so it's going to be hard for him to really pull anything off. Interestingly, Rudy does not get back past Jay, and Stan keeps ahead of Rosen. So obviously they've done something right here to keep the guys with DRS behind them. Rudy 3 seconds. That is going to be very interesting. With us, I think it's Rosen also has 3 seconds, so Stan could benefit and move him up into P7 without even doing much fighting here. So he just needs to keep it clean for the rest of this race, the last 8 laps of this race. Lap 17 now, Morgan moves on. Sculsey though has been catching Ladamala again over the last few laps. I don't know if Ladamala is just struggling a bit, because he's dropping a lot to Morgan, and Sculsey's starting to come back at him after obviously Ladamala passed him earlier on in this race. So it'll be interesting to see what happens between those two come the end of this race, or if Ladamala is able to find a bit of his rhythm back and get some pace going again. We hope for his sake that he can, obviously. Now we see Town right behind Wilt. This is only for P12, but I'm sure it means the same as if it was for any points position really for these guys. Look at the pace Town has on those soft tyres up the inside at turn 1. Good move, but is it a good decision to make that move there? Because this is going to allow Wilt to have DRS at the top of the hill, and I think that DRS zone is way more powerful than the one on the main straight. So there could have been a mistake here from Town. He's had a worse exit out of Radion, and there is Wilt already looking to his outside. He's pulled alongside. Is he going to be able to get in front for the corner? Oh, Town breaks later. There's a bit of contact between the two, but it is just a little bit of contact, and Town still on that inside into the turn. Wow. Imagine down that fast right-hander, and he's kept it just ahead. Very nice defending there from Town. And I was doubting his decision to make the move where he did, but he's proved me wrong, which is what we love to see here. If they can prove me wrong, it's just as good as really surprising for everyone as well. So it's what we like to see. Renko moving back down to last as his ghosted car. This is really the closest fight on track, I want to say. I guess Sven and Ishtar are quite close. Actually, let's have a look at Sven and Ishtar, because Ishtar, after being overtaken by Sven, has not given up. He's been able to keep right on the back of that Alpha Tauri ever since. And he's looking good for a move if he gets his run right out of turn 1 here. Is Town with another 3-second time penalty. So that move that he made on Wilt might just be worthless after all. Okay, let's have a look now. What is the run for these two drivers out of Radion going to be? Very tidy there from Ishtar. It's looking good. He's gaining. Let's see if it's going to be enough by the time they get to the end of the straight. Slipstream, of course. He's not using his overtake mode. And I think that's made the difference here between him gaining a position and not. As we've got another yellow flag. It's for Kenny. Kenny with a mistake. He's broken his front wing. It's at Radion. Probably touched the inside curb like we saw earlier. Stan side by side with Rudy. Bit off track. That's going to be a warning, I think, for Stan. But he's trying round the outside off their hairpin anyway. Wow, I think there's a bit of contact there, but they've both managed to keep it going the correct direction, and that is a great move there by Stan to move himself up into P7 in this race. Next driver up for him is his teammate, 2.5 seconds up the road. Very wide there from Rudy, as Kenny receives another 3-second time penalty. Wow. Ishtar now has dropped quite far off the back of Sven, so I don't know if he's made a mistake. But he's actually gaining again with that bit of overtake mode through here. Could get to within a good gap by the next time they get to Radion. Another battle going on here. Town hasn't been able to drop Wilt yet, as Kenny retires. That's in the pit lane. So he was retired in the pit lane, no harm done. So anyone who predicted 2 retirements and 2 safety cars so far in this race will have been correct. Obviously we still have 3 laps to go. So I don't think we're getting a full safety car, but another virtual safety car is definitely on the cards. Town now going defensive as Wilt has the DRS. He's not close enough on this main straight, but is he going to be able to get a good exit out of turn 1 here? Who cares? Ishtar is very close. He's overtaken Sven, but he's not got very much ERS left at all now. And Boomer and Rudy. Wow, where's Boomer come from? As Rudy and Stan. Good defense there from Stan, and Boomer keeps ahead of Rosen. But that battling has allowed Tammy just to catch up. Tammy can sniff some points now. If he doesn't give up, he can definitely get a couple of points for himself in this race, which I'm sure he'll be happy with after the horrible race he's been having. Ladamala now 13.5 seconds behind Morgan. 3 laps to go. I'm not hopeful for... I'm not hopeful for much of a comeback in this race from him. Just keep an eye on Rudy, because we have seen moves happen down into Blanchimont so far in this race, so it's definitely still a possibility. Of course. Yeah, really 6/10 closest gap on track with the last 3 laps of this race, so let's see if Rudy's able to come back at Stan after that very close battle they had the last couple of laps. Bit of contact made at the top of the hill, but as long as no one ends up in a wall like Tamby did earlier on, it should be okay. Tamby very close to the back of Rosen now. Is he going to look for a move into turn 1, or is he going to be patient and wait for the back straight with the longer DRS zone? He's going to be patient for now. He's focused back onto Stan and Rudy here, because they will come through the DRS zone first. Let's see, is Rudy able to get a better exit? It looks like he is. Stan didn't have the greatest exit, of course, on those hard tyres. So now DRS all the way down the straight. Stan is out of DRS. Rudy probably has a bit more, as we've seen so far in this race. But he's turned in contact again. Is he able to hang it around the outside? He tries his best. Bit more contact there. He's still there, coming into the hairpin. He brakes late, but he has the outside line again. Not the good line, but he now into no-name corner will have the inside line. And Rudy has to give up, otherwise he would have ended up in a wall there most likely. Not much runoff area there at all. And now this has allowed Boomer to have a look. Boomer's looking round the outside, and there's a big mistake there from Rudy. He's allowed Boomer to switch back down the inside. Is he going to try round the outside now? Of course, this is chicane, switches back, and Rudy has lost 2 positions there in the space of really half a lap due to that mistake. And Tambi did get past Ryerson there. So Tambi moves himself back up into the point after his pretty awful race where he's just been in crash after crash after crash. Rudy now, is he going to, of course, back at the end of this lap, DRS zone coming up very shortly. The detection point is there. We have yellows. It's for Wilt, I think. It was for Wilt, but he's back going the right way, so no harm done there. Very close here on the run down to turn 1 now, 4 tenths between them, and we have another yellow, and it's for Wilt again. Wilt has made another mistake, and that's allowed Joe past for P13. Ryerson pits, not happy with those medium tyres at all, and Wilt follows him in. So those drivers are going to lose out a lot now. Okay, Rudy, 5 tenths. Boomer only 4 tenths off Stan now. They've caught Stan very fast. Stan, who is unable to catch his teammate at the moment. The gap has increased to 5 seconds. Is Boomer going to be able to make a move into the corner? Nope, he just sticks behind for now. Boomer on soft tyres, of course. Stan on the hard tyres. So you'd really have expected a bit more confidence there from Boomer. But I'm sure he's just biding his time. He has one more opportunity to make that move in this race as we are on the penultimate lap. Actually, I think he might have 2, because I think Morgan's already crossed the line. Just looking for where Scalzi and Ladamala are on the lap. We'll see in a second. Crosses the line. Okay, final lap now. Morgan is on the final lap. So Boomer has one more opportunity to make this move on Stan. Rudy could of course come back at Boomer, but he's just on the edge of that 1 second. Tambi now on an absolute charge, well within DRS range on Rudy. So Rudy could find himself 10th place after being 6th only 10 laps ago. That would be horrible for him, really, because he was running 5th at one point in this race, right behind Ishtar. Of course, Tambi was ahead of Ishtar earlier in this race, but after getting pushed into the wall by Rudy, he's ended up back down in P10, but he's caught Rudy back up at the end of this race, so he's looking for a bit of revenge now. Hopefully not revenge in the way that he's going to push him into a wall, but he wants to get that position. Okay, let's see who's close. Boomer very close here, 4 tenths and gaining up the hill. Arouge, Radion. It's been a good exit there as Ishtar's just been passed by Swen on the final lap. Swen moves himself up into P4 in this race. What's Boomer able to do? Boomer pulls out on Stan. He's trying to go round the outside. Stan, he's on the inside, he turns in low. Not much room left between either of these drivers at all. Wow. I don't think there was a moment there where they weren't making contact. Was there, and they're still making contact. So they come down into the hairpin, they're going to push each other wide. Is Rudy going to take this opportunity to... Nah, he's a bit too far back. But he could have taken the opportunity there to Boomer 3-second time penalty in the final lap. That is not going to help him at all. Tambi was unable to make the move there as well, interestingly. Rudy very low on the RS. Tambi still has a bit left. He could make a move into the bus stop chicane, so if he's close enough. Morgan crosses the line to win this race. He currently has 16 seconds over Ladamala, so really a dominant performance here today. But our attention is still very much on this fight for well, what is 7th place really, although I think Stan's got that one covered. It might be a fight for 9th between these two. 2nd is Ladamala, and Scalzi makes your podium complete. He's trying to go around the outside. Tambi round the outside. Final corner now. He switches to the inside. Is he going to be able to get the traction off of the final? He pushes Rudy wide, and I tell you what, he's got P9. And it's P6. Tambi, P6 just through not getting penalties. What a recovery from the Ferrari driver here. And Boomer picks up the last point. We now have Joe will cross the line for P12. He's pretty comfortably ahead of Ryzen, who of course had to make that late pit stop because his tyres just fell off the cliff. Very unfortunate from him today. Twanach, 15 seconds behind. Wilt is right behind him though, so if Twanach has penalties, this could be P15. I don't think he cares if he's P14 or 15, to be honest, but P14 is Wilt and P15 is Twanach. Husam will come home to take P16 after that early crash in this race where he was involved with what I can't remember who was involved with. I think it was Ryzen he got involved with, where they crashed before they even reached the first corner. It was a bit of a 2012 style Grosjean type thing, but he'll weave across the line anyway. There we go, and that is the finishing order for this race. Not the most crazy race we've seen from this league, but definitely an eventful one. Hope you guys down in the stream have all been entertained. Now what I'm going to quickly check is Tier 2 still running? Yes, Tier 2 is currently on lap 21 or 22, so if you guys want to see some more action, see the end of their race there, I'd advise you to quickly jump over to them, see what's going on. At the moment, it's Blue Jean in the lead of the race, followed by Pontus Johansson, and third place is, I can't read that, my screen's too small. Third place is NIP Stephen. So, yeah. I think the fight they're currently looking at is for P6. It's Cablo is attacking MFA Urgis. So if you're at all interested in how that one ends up, go and have a check over there. I'm going to quickly check the race director in case anyone wants warnings or anything removed. Wow, this is quite a long race director. There you go, if anyone needs a warning or something removed, he is there. So well done to Morgan today for the win. Ladamala, not quite the performance we expect from him normally, but I'm sure he'll be happy with P2 after starting P5. Skulzy, great drive. P3 from P9, definitely a contender for driver of the day. But who I think will be getting my driver of the day is Swen the Man. He's jumped from P16 to P4. Incredible drive after a poor qualifying. Ishtar gains 1 position, Tambi drops 2, but I think that's quite good considering what he's had to go through today. Stan, mistake with the tyres on the stop, and Baboon J from 19th place has made his way up into what I think that said was 7th. So quite a good drive from him today. I didn't get to see the rest of it, but whatever. So that's going to be it from me today. Thank you all for coming and watching this race. Hopefully you were entertained. Blue Jean is just coming into the final sector in Tier 2 to complete the race. So as I said before, go check them out right now if you want to see how that one ends. If not, tune in on a Sunday at 8 PM British time for Tier 3, and also at 8 PM British time on a Tuesday is the Sprint League. The Sprint League is coming to the end of its season, and I think currently in the lead of that race is in the lead of that championship, is Hype Skulls, who was unable to race in this Tier 1 race today due to his PlayStation Plus running out. So you don't hear that excuse in real racing, do you? So of course, thank you all for coming along. Hopefully this race was entertaining. I know it's not quite on the levels we've had before, but I found it quite fun, so hopefully you had fun watching. But that's been it from me. Thank you all, and goodbye.